We offer long-term athlete development at affordable prices for middle and high school students. We also have the only board-certified sports PT in Rapid City. At our brand new facility, Physio is ready to help you perform at your best. One-on-one physical therapy, athlete development, and sports rehab, all at one place. Get started at bhphysio.com.
Where can you get surprisingly great rates on auto and renter's insurance? At State Farm. I'm State Farm agent Matt McCormick, and I'm your one-stop shop in Rapid City for protecting your car and your stuff for surprisingly great rates. So stop looking around. Call me, State Farm agent Matt McCormick, for surprisingly great auto and renter's rates today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
I'm with Brian at Anytime Auto Sales. Getting your car in tip-top shape for the summer months has arrived.
Yes, it has. And we're here for all your summertime automotive needs. We'll make sure your AC system is fully charged and functioning at full capacity. Plus, we have the best brake deal around at just $329 per axle for most vehicles, including pads, rotors, labor, and a lifetime warranty as long as you own the rig.
That brake deal is flat out the best deal around.
You know, it really is. And we have great prices for oil changes as well. Get a mobile synthetic blend 5-quart oil change for most vehicles for only $34.99 plus tax.
You do a lot of things at some great prices to keep anyone's rig running right.
You know, we do. Rebates for brand name tire deals, plus detailing specials too. Whatever your repairs may be, we'll do them right and at a fair price.
Anytime Auto Sales service and detail, folks. The place to trust. Your complete AAA and ASE certified automotive repair specialists. See anytime.com. And of course on the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota, Rapid City.
Anytime Auto Sales.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City. You need to know.
Frank Vogel is out as the Phoenix Suns head coach after just one season. Fired today after a season that saw them go 49-33, but gets swept by the Timberwolves in the first round of the playoffs. President and GM James Jones said that this past season was, quote, way below our expectations, end quote. Multiple reports say that former Bucks and Hawks head coach Mike Budenholzer would be a candidate for the job now in Phoenix. The Charlotte Hornets are hiring Celtics assistant coach Charles Lee to be their head coach. He gets a 4-year deal. Cavs and Celtics play at 7 Eastern in Boston. Mavericks and Thunder at 9:30 Eastern time tonight in 2 Game 2s. Yankees just got a bit closer to the Astros. Anthony Volpe a 2-run shot, but Houston's up 3-2 as they play in the 3rd inning. Rockies won today against the Giants 9-1. Twins over the Mariners 11-1. Diamondbacks sweep the Reds, winning in Cincinnati 5-4.
It's time for South Dakota's Sports Talk Show. This is the Nate Brown Show, featuring live callers, live interviews, and thought-provoking sports talk. From the biggest national names to the hottest local stories. Welcome to the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Here's your host, Nate Brown.
All right, we're ready on a Thursday. Welcome in, everybody. Thanks for listening on the radio side, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. It's the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Also stream us anywhere on your phone. Bring us up on your work computer. All of that good stuff. FoxSportsRapidCity.com. The live stream is there. The best lineup, no doubt. Dan Patrick gets you going in the morning. All the way into Colin Cowherd, Doug Gottlieb, and, of course, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, the Nate Brown Show, ready on a Thursday. It's happy hour. We're going to have some fun here. Great guest lineup to lead us into happy hour, and then our guest host, Rob Kegron, live in studio during the drive at 5. Thursday happy hour coming up. It is always a great day in the Black Hills. Welcome in. South Dakota Sports Talk Show brought to you in part by Black Hills Urgent Care, where me and my family go to get better quicker. Just want you to remember, Black Hills Urgent Care. Fast, affordable, convenient. They have 2 locations here in Rapid City on Haynes Avenue and Mountain View Road. You can walk right in 7 days a week. Great care, proudly owned by physicians. Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better. Remember, if you start feeling sick, schedule online, bhucare.com. That gets you right in, bhucare.com. Black Hills Urgent Care, the faster way to get better. The Nate Brown Show back and ready. Let's look at the guest lineup, and then we'll get to some good stuff tonight. Brian Noe is popping on. You bet it's a weekly tradition. Now, on the Nate Brown Show, one of our favorite guests, and the listeners have commented, hey, Brian Noe is outstanding. So we try and get him. National host on Fox Sports Radio, Brian Noe checks in. Shout out to the Black Hills with Brian Noe coming up. Kevin McKinney's on tonight from Laramie, Wyoming. Colorman, long-time Wyoming Cowboys Sports Network broadcaster. Kevin McKinney in talking Group of 5 college football, Mountain West college football. One more headline out today on that piece from college football. We'll get to it. Kevin McKinney's going to join us from the Cowboys Sports Network. Scott Pianowski's on tonight. YahooSports.com, National Major League Baseball writer. Some interesting numbers across the board in Major League Baseball. Baseball's about numbers. I'm going to break down they're really interesting stat lines. Scott Pianowski's on YahooSports.com. We'll check in with him. And the Thursday happy hour is ready to roll in the Drive at 5. Guest host Rob Kegron on his way into the studio. So a packed 2 hours ready. Thought-provoking sports talk questions of the day. The good stuff. You can be a part of the show. Invite that. 720-1067 is our number. Join us live. 720-1067. That's how you can be on the show. And the Barron's Wilson text line. Direct text the show, 720-1067. Text us there. Barron's Wilson text line for you, 720-1067. Okay. So next week, the NFL is going to put out the schedule release. Is that something you get, juiced up for, excited for? It's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, the NFL. We know the opponents, okay? So we all get excited for everything NFL these days. I do. I'm not, just wondering when the Broncos are going to play this team or that team. I'm not waiting on bated breath here. But I will say you kind of want to know how it lays out and how the season's going to start. Do you not? So I thought this was interesting, and I said, let's throw this out there, and I'm gonna do a storyline on this, and then I am gonna get to an NFL headline, which I think you might have missed, because I'm seeing this today, and I'm going, they're really gonna do this, but is this going to happen? The NFL's gonna do this, but is this really going to happen? So I'm gonna get into this. I want to start with NFL schedule release time. So that's next Wednesday. We know the opponents. We want to know who's playing when. And so that's what we'll get next Wednesday. Leading up to that, I wanted to find out, I did a little research, the Nate Brown Show, a little research on my own to say, what is the best matchup that you would want to see in week 1? We're going to be juiced for the season. You know that. So I'm jacked and ready for the season. Who do you want to watch? Most interesting matchup when you look at opponents. Here's who's playing who. Which game should the NFL put in prime time on week 1? I'm talking like that Sunday night football. Week 1, everybody's ready. Sunday night football, the number 1 rated thing in TV. Who do you want to see Sunday night football, okay? Now, I know Thursday night, that's the kickoff special. You're going to have the Super Bowl champs. So I get that. I want to know who you would put in there. I've got some games I'm going to throw out, okay? These are matchups in the season, and I'm going to throw out these matchups, and I want you to vote for them, which one you find most interesting, considering what? You got to have a storyline. You got to have some QBs. You got to have some excitement there, some interesting things, not just, I want to watch my favorite team. I'm a Cowboys fan. No, I think there's 3 specific games, 3 really specific ones, and then I guess I'll throw in an extra one here, okay? Here's the storyline and the quarterbacks. Which NFL game should be the best week 1 matchup? And if I'm in the NFL offices today, I'm looking at it going, we got to put this one. Sunday night football, you're going to get big ratings. I know which one it is. I have my vote. I'm a little bit of a homer, okay? I'll admit that to you. I'm a little bit of a homer. But here's some games for consideration. Are we ready? This could be week 1 matchup. Who would you want to see? Here's games for consideration. Chicago Bears at the 49ers. They're matching up. That's the 49ers coming off of a Super Bowl appearance and playing Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. Bears at 49ers. Does that get your interest at all? There's one. I think that should be considered. Honestly, if I looked at all the opponents and all the matchups, and I said that's one you got to look at. 49ers hosting the Bears. Okay, would that be a Sunday night football game, week 1? How about this one? Atlanta Falcons, your boy Kirk Cousins at the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, they are playing. Is that interesting enough to put Kirk D. Cousins in the matchup at Minnesota? His return to Minnesota, a week 1 scenario, Sunday night football. Would you do that one? Falcons at Vikings. That one should be in there. Okay, that's considered. I got 2 good ones there. This is one which I think is going to go Thursday night, but I'll throw it in here because they were AFC rivals. This went down to the wire in the AFC playoffs. Ravens at Chiefs. If I'm guessing, that's going to be your Thursday night kickoff special. That's my guess. Chiefs Super Bowl champs. Best matchup for them outside of the AFC West is, I think, the Ravens. Most interesting to me. So I'll throw that one in. Ravens at Chiefs. We'll see what happens. I'm going to guess that's Thursday night football, so we're going to get that one. Last one on my list. Best storylines, quarterbacks. You know it, and I know it. The Pittsburgh Steelers go to Denver. It's Russell Wilson and the Steelers at Bo Nix. Sean Payton and the Broncos. Would the Steelers at Broncos make the Sunday night football list? This is in all seriousness now on the Nate Brown Show, okay? Broncos hosting the Steelers. Now, you give me your vote, okay? Those are the 4 matchups in, and I looked through all the teams, and I'm going, you got number 1 pick, Caleb Williams at the 49ers. Ravens Chiefs, that's a great matchup. They got to do something there. I'm thinking Thursday night. Falcons Vikings, what a storyline. The NFL just set this up, and they do this. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like, hey, Falcons at Vikings, Steelers at Broncos. What a coincidence. The 2 quarterbacks coming back to their old teams. You know which one I'm voting for, right? And it's not just because I'm a homer. You have to understand the Russell Wilson story, getting kicked out of Denver over to a premier team, organization, and a brand like the Steelers. Russell Wilson gets to go back to Denver. Russell's name is huge. That's a big brand in and of itself. Russell's brand is bigger than Kirk Cousins. So that's why I'm going to elevate, not just because it's my Broncos. I elevate the Steelers at Broncos as more interesting than the Falcons at Vikings. Is that fair? I'm looking at it. Russell's brand is bigger than Kirk Cousins. You guys would agree, okay? Kirk's just going to go back to Minnesota. They're going to do a fanfare. They're going to welcome him back. It's going to be kumbaya. They're going to hold hands. Nobody's going to be upset with Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. So I don't think the NFL is going to go Sunday night football week 1. I don't think they're going to do that with the Falcons at the Vikings. That's my guess, because Kirk's so nice. Minnesota's so nice. This one here is going to be Sean Payton. Doesn't like Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, huge brand, wants to prove himself. Super Bowl champion, kicked out of Denver, comes back and faces the child prodigy, Sean Payton, Sparky's pick of Bo Nix. And can Bo beat Russell Wilson? That's the game, is it not? I'll give you the Bears 49ers a little bit, okay? I'll give you the Bears 49ers. The storyline's good. I don't know if they'll put Caleb Williams on the show first week. I don't know if they'll go Caleb Williams, Sunday Night Football at the 49ers. We don't want to kill him the first week, do we? So we don't mind killing Bo Nix because that fits the narrative. Oh, Sean Payton, oh, did he pick the wrong guy? I mean, the storylines, I can hear the shows Monday morning. Oh, my goodness, Bo Nix got beat by the Steelers, and Russell Wilson threw 3 touchdowns and ran for another one. I can hear it right now. You tell me, okay? You tell me. Best Sunday night week 1 matchup, if you were picking it, you're in the NFL office, schedule comes out next week. If you were picking it, which matchup do you put in there? And I know you don't have access. You're listening to the show of all 30 teams here. but I picked them out. These are the ones I grabbed because I think it's got to be one of these. Falcons at Vikings, Steelers at Broncos, Bears at 49ers, Ravens at Chiefs. Are they going to just be boring and say, oh, let's go with like Green Bay and the Cowboys? Yeah, don't. We don't. I mean, oh, two huge brands. Oh, that's Sunday night. Are they going to be boring like that right out of the gate? I want storyline. I want Sean Payton against Russell Wilson and the Broncos and the Steelers. Let's see what you say here. Who would get your vote? Listener text, I'd like to see the rookie against Russell Wilson. You would. This is from a Broncos fan. Yes, that should be opening weekend or Monday Night Football. Okay, opening weekend. That you might get that. Maybe they don't go Sunday night football with Steelers and Broncos, but the Broncos have been put on Monday night the last couple of years with Russell. So he's been on the opening weekend on Monday night. Is that right? I remember that 2 years ago. Did we go Monday night again? I think so with Russell Wilson as the Broncos QB. So they're going to do that Monday Night Football? That could be. That could happen again. Let's see. Listener text. I'd go 49ers Green Bay. 49ers Green Bay. I mean, that's a good one. NFC Championship matchup. That's a nice one. Would that beat out the Bears 49ers? Maybe. Green Bay's brand's bigger, better. That's a better team. I just think the Caleb Williams story, you're going to have to put him on primetime a little bit. You're going to have to put Caleb Williams on a couple of times. The Bears are going to get more placement primetime than most years, right? So I'm thinking they might go like a Monday night Bears 49ers. Maybe that's that deal. Who gets the primetime game Sunday night for you? Listener text, I think any matchup within the NFC North would be very interesting. I'd go Packers-Bears, Vikings-Bears, Packers-Lions. Yeah, that's NFC North bias. NFC North bias. They're not going to go Sunday night football with one of those NFC North hitters. And by the way, you catch a lot of these games, not division games, early on. They're kind of spread out a little bit, but I don't know if you're going to go division rivalry game early on. Considering the storylines and quarterbacks and interesting matchups, which NFL game would you put on Sunday night? Nate Brown Show question of the day. Let me know who you want to watch. 720-1067. Could you guess who's winning the Twitter poll right now? Could you guess? Who's winning the Twitter poll? 52% would put the Sunday night game Falcons at the Vikings. And I just explained why I wouldn't. It'll be fun for a couple of minutes. Oh, Kirk Cousins and the Falcons at Minnesota. We want to watch Sam Darnold against Kirk Cousins Sunday night. I mean, I'm watching it, but is that the big hitter? I think that Broncos-Steelers game, little more bitterness, little more rivalry, a little more heat. I think I'm going to say this from a programming standpoint. Steelers at Broncos feels like a week one game, and that feels like a Sunday night or Monday night game. That Steelers at Broncos is too good. They put them on the schedule. That's too good to just bury on a week 3 or something like that. Feels like Sean Payton and Bo Nix against Russell Wilson and the Steelers. This is a good one. Steelers, Broncos. That feels like a Sunday night or Monday night game, honestly. Falcons, Vikings is good. I mean, it's good. Very interested in it. Kirk Cousins going back to Minnesota, but it's not going to be, people aren't going to be booing Kirk, are you? I mean, you Minnesota fans aren't going to boo Kirk. You booed him more when he was there. You're going to be looking at Kirk, hoping that you had him and calling for J.J. McCarthy in 2 weeks. Okay, 52% Falcons, Vikings. That's the game you would put. We got some biased Vikings fans in the area, I understand. 21% want to see week 1 Ravens at Chiefs. That's your second vote. Really? Rerun number 6? Ravens at Chiefs, rerun number 6? That's old hat. That's old hat. I'm not with it. 21% go Ravens, Chiefs. 18% go Steelers at Broncos. Most interesting. 9% Bears at 49ers. Somebody just replied with a face palm. What's the face palm for? Oh, that the Falcons at Vikings are the number one vote. That's what he said. Okay. Falcons, Vikings, the number one vote. Facepalm. Listener text, I'll save you the trouble. The Broncos will not be featured in a primetime slot this season. Oh, no, they will be. They will be. They'll be featured a few times. Not going to be as much as with Russell Wilson. I hate to break it to you, though. I mean, they'll be featured a few times, but not as much as with Russell Wilson. That, you know, people talk about Russell Wilson, and if you like him and you don't like him, the brand was there. The interest is there. He made the Broncos really interesting. He was polarizing, Russell Wilson. I'm a Russell Wilson fan, and you guys either watched him to root against him, you know, most of the time, or cheered for him like me. So Bo Nix and the Broncos probably not going to get a ton of primetime looks, honestly. And it'll be a few of those like Steelers, like Chiefs, okay? Maybe one more Monday night like Raiders. That might be it, honestly. They might get a few, my Broncos, prime time. One of them's going to be week 1, book it, Steelers at Broncos, I believe. That's my guess. You got to put Steelers-Broncos sometime. Sunday night, Monday night is where I would go. Okay, so I almost missed this. I'm going to stay in the NFL as we get going. I'm going to stay in the NFL and see what you think about this. And I'm probably going to be, what you say, maybe sound a little harsh. You're probably, oh, you sound like a doofus. You guys don't say that very often anyway, do you? But you might say, Nate, you just sound like a football doofus. And what I mean by this is this came out, and I didn't know if this was real or not. So I looked it up again and the actual headline, and here's what I'm talking about. So for this season in the NFL is going to allow players to wear those Guardian caps in games. This just came out here in the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking at it going, are they going to stick with this? And so what people are saying is, yes, if the players want to wear the Guardian caps, you know what I'm talking about, the stuff that they wear in practice, the extra padding they put over their helmets. All the players wear those in practices. That's where it started. Now the NFL announced for this season, in regular season games, the players can choose to wear the Guardian caps while they're playing right there. Guardian cap over your helmet. So you know how the strict policy of the NFL with their uniforms, like your socks have to be exact, your pants, the whole thing. You can't vary in a uniform at all, shoes, socks, the whole thing. But the NFL's going to go covering up the brand of the helmets. That's essentially what these Guardian caps do. You're not going to put the logo or make the Guardian caps the helmet. So the NFL has announced here's what it's for. It's for player safety. We're about player safety. I'm being a little sarcastic, and why I say that is I'm going to lead into this. What would you think of the NFL allowing the players to wear the Guardian caps? There's the doofus football people like me. You can pick on me and say, oh, yeah, just smash each other, hit each other, brain injuries. We love it. The harder, the better. It's gladiator. I'm not quite there. I understand you got to do certain things in the game to make it safer, and the technology's advanced. So the side of the coin would be, if there's technology to help the head injuries, like the Guardian caps, why not let the players wear them? And I don't know what it is today. Today, for me, it's just this. I don't think the NFL is really, really worried about it, because they're going to try and take this thing to 18 games. Okay? I mean, I'm just telling you. The NFL, in my opinion's not so concerned. Oh, my goodness. We got injuries. We got head injuries. We have to figure this thing out. They, I believe, do this type of stuff to say, well, we did this on the kickoff. We've done this. We're going to do the Guardian caps. And then nobody ever talks about, and now we're going to run these guys through a 18-game regular season. We're going to run them ragged, where injuries can go up. You all know it, the longevity of the season, the wear and tear, and the whole thing. And nobody really goes down the road. They say, wow, the NFL, they're cognizant of head injuries. They're playing this smart. It's the right thing to do. I guess I'm not going to kill them over it. Hey, let them wear the Guardian caps, because you're kind of saying if you don't let them wear the Guardian caps, you're for brain injuries. I don't think we have to be that extreme, do we? If you don't let them wear the Guardian caps in the games, you're for brain injuries. That's not right. I just feel like it's a little odd, a little different to do that, and then maybe add another regular season game, which I believe they're going to do fairly quickly. I believe that's going to happen. People have talked about it. We went to 17. Now they're going to go to 18, and we're supposed to say, but they get to wear the Guardian caps, so I think it's going to be okay. I don't know the science, the injury prevention, the head injury prevention from the Guardian caps. I don't know that. Do you think players are going to wear the Guardian caps in a game? The NFL said you can do it starting this next season. Would players do that in a game? My guess is no. Maybe I'll be way off on it. Maybe we'll turn on our TV that first week, watching the Steelers hit the Broncos, and Russell Wilson's going to be wearing a Guardian cap. And then what are you guys going to say? What are you going to say about Russell wearing a Guardian cap? I'm telling you, people are going to comment on it. Is anybody going to wear the Guardian caps? NFL said you can. What do you think of that? I thought this was really interesting as they actually put this out there. Let's see here. Listener text. A report said the Guardian caps will be painted with the team's logo and color. Oh, interesting. That'll be interesting. So it won't quite look like practice where they're just kind of cream colored or whatever color you have. So you're going to try and make them look like helmets. It'll still look odd, though. I mean, it will look odd. It'll look different. Listener text. Let's see, 720-1067. What do you think of the Guardian caps being worn by players in the regular season? Listener text, the NFL's worried about being sued again. So they can say they tried various risk-reducing items for the game. They're worried about being sued. Let's see. There's been a lot of discussion on that stuff. You know that. The head injury stuff, the CTE, all of that stuff. What do you think of the NFL allowing players to wear Guardian caps, the padding on the helmets for regular season games? 58% voting it's the right thing to do. 42% saying seems a bit soft. And again, you're walking that fine line. I'm kind of one of those guys. It seems odd to me because they keep adding to the schedule of hard-hitting regular season games, and then we think the Guardian caps just a great way to player safety, keep everybody good, but we're not cutting down on the games, we're adding to them. That doesn't seem to quite go together to me, so it seems a bit odd to me. Is anybody going to wear the Guardian caps? That'll be interesting to watch. Very interesting to see who's going to do that and the discussion around it. The people that say, oh, man, that's a little odd that Russell Wilson's wearing a Guardian cap, you're going to look like the doofuses that don't get science and you're for brain injuries, you're for head injuries. I mean, wake up. And then there's going to be the other side, which people won't talk about, is well, the NFL has added games. They really haven't taken away stuff to keep players safe. They're just trying to do certain things, I think, to make it look good, I think. Coming right back with Scott Pianowski as we get started on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show off and running. Major League Baseball writer Scott Pianowski. Are we seeing the best player maybe in history? I mean, that sounds extreme. I'll ask him next.
This is South Dakota's Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show, on FoxSportsRapidCity.com and live on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are selling surplus for Rice's Rapid Motorsports, former location 301 Campbell Street in Rapid City, South Dakota. Selling tools, easy up. So here's a 12-foot fan, collectible signs, older Honda riding mower, Bobcat finish mower attachment, pull-behind broom attachment, 2024 Yamaha four-wheeler with 2 miles, a Sea-Doo Wave Runner, 3 boats, several side-by-sides and four-wheelers. Auction closing 6 p.m. For more auction details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
If Mama isn't happy, nobody's happy. And there's no easier way to make Mom happy than gifts from Black Hills Harley-Davidson. Give Mom something she really wants from the Midwest's largest selection of Harley-Davidson clothing and accessories with truckloads of new products just arrived. This week, you can get on a 2016 Heritage for just $11,995, or how about a 2017 Street Rod for just $49.95? Be here this Saturday for a special beer and mimosa happy hour, plus the first 100 people through the door will get a free set of flowers. Come shop Black Hills Harley-Davidson in Rapid City or online at blackhillshd.com.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Precision Mechanical, your local heating and air conditioning company, serving Rapid City, Spearfish, and the surrounding area since 2006. Precision Mechanical is here to help you stay cool this summer. If your air conditioning goes out, they have a technician on call 24/7. Also, if you need a new system, Precision is your local Lennox Premier dealer. For all of your servicing needs, maintenance, or a new system, it's Precision Mechanical. So beat the heat this summer. Just Google Precision Mechanical.
Springtime means better selection and bigger savings, up to $7,000 on new Sierra 1500 models at Spearfish GMC. Our selection of Sierra HDs is better than ever, starting at around $56,700. And now's the season to check out our new Hummer EV e-bike collection for easy trail riding or challenging single track. It's all happening at Spearfish GMC Cadillac, online at spearfishmotors.com.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in. The Nate Brown Show off and running on a Thursday. Thanks for being here. Hope you've had a good day. South Dakota Sports Talk Show live 4 to 6 on Fox Sports Rapid City. 106.7 FM, 1150 AM on the radio side. A lot of ways you can catch the show right now on Twitter, X. Follow us at Nate Brown Show, at Nate Brown Show, and watch the show live in studio. Welcome in. New decoration of the studio is still up. I didn't tear it down today. We had our great listener, McJudgerson, drop by the Christian Ponder jersey to honor my Broncos taking Bo Nix. Thanks for the retaliation on that. So we got the Christian Ponder jersey up in the studio. If he went through the effort, I'm putting it up in the studio. It's kind of a black eye, but it's up for now. Christian Ponder in studio, and you can watch us right now on YouTube. Scott Pianowski's on tonight, Yahoo Sports, Major League Baseball. Scott, good to have you back. How are you?
I'm doing great, Nate. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Let me ask you something here. I'm looking at the stats, and through this early part of the season, a month here, we got Shohei Ohtani, first in average, first in hits, first in OPS, second in home runs. Is this sustainable, those categories? Are we going to see this the rest of the year?
Well, it's funny. If we talked 3 or 4 weeks ago, the story would have been Mookie Betts was leading in all those categories, but this is their MVP package, right? And former MVP Mookie Betts, leadoff hitter. Former MVP Shohei Ohtani, who will eventually be a two-way player for them next season, batting second. Former MVP Freddie Freeman batting for third. It's the greatest ticket in baseball, the greatest star power. Obviously, we had the scandal a month ago. It seems like Ohtani was completely in the dark on all that, and that's good for baseball because we talk about this. There's a lot of stars in baseball. Mookie Betts is a star, and Ronald Acuna is a star. And when Aaron Judge is healthy, he's a star. And now he's got Soto running with him, and Julio Rodriguez in Seattle is a great young player. But Shohei is on his own planet.
He is. Okay.
It's just so. Okay. We always thought we talked a lot last year about what made sense. Where would he go? They never, the whole time he was there with Trout in Anaheim, they never had a winning record, which is mind-blowing. Forget going to the playoffs. They never went never went over 500. And it's just nice to see him. Same market, although LA and Anaheim, they might as well be, two different planets too. But it's just nice to see him where he belongs, on the best team in baseball, on the most exciting team in baseball, just doing what he does. And I can't wait till next year when he's actually going to pitch too. But yes, he is capable of having a year where he's like not just the MVP, but like the unanimous MVP. That's what his upside is.
Okay, so you actually think today in baseball you can have a guy like this lead all of those categories? This is like a Babe Ruth style here.
I mean, we've seen it. I mean, Miguel Cabrera not that long ago won the Triple Crown. You look at the gods of baseball, and you look at their baseball reference pages, and you just see the black ink because they led the league in so many different things. And Willie Mays is all the black ink, and Ted Williams is all the black ink, and Babe Ruth, his stats didn't make sense in context. He would out-homer entire teams. And Ohtani's capable of doing that because he can hit for average, he can hit for power, he can run, he can basically steal a base anytime he wants. We know it's a great era for stolen bases, and I'm glad that the Dodgers are still letting him run. And he's in the prime of his career. That's the exciting thing, right? We do not know that he's had his best season yet. I mean, who's to say he might not be better next year when he's pitching again? And again, you just want to see. I don't have a problem like when Bobby Witt Jr. is on the Royals, and he's a great young player. It's exciting. The Pirates are going to call up Paul Skeens, who's the number one pitching prospect in baseball. What a great story that could be. But there's something about, Nate, like when Notre Dame football is great, or when the Yankees are great, or Duke basketball is great. There's just certain franchises that have a little bit more juice, bring a little bit more. I know you're a big Cubs fan. It's just something about Ohtani being in L.A. now. It's Hollywood is all about stars, and they have the biggest star in the stratosphere. So it just seems to make sense to me.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about his interpreter, his former interpreter, pled guilty yesterday to the charges of felony bank fraud and the false tax return, and he looks like he's in trouble, and there's a lot of details on how he took the money and all of that stuff. That's just a wild story to me. How do you think something like that happens with Shohei Ohtani and a friendship like that?
Well, it just goes to switching cultures, switching countries, having a small circle of trust. And this is, and I know when we even speculated about this a few weeks ago, it's like, it's on one level, it's like, well, how could you be in the dark on this? But, I mean, we're all at the mercy of the people we trust, are the significant others in our lives, or maybe it's a family member. Billy Joel was bankrupted at one point by his brother-in-law. It's very common. It's very common for athletes to invest their money with the wrong people, or to be sold a bill of goods a lot of times with people who handle their money. So this is a little bit more, a step further than that, more nefarious than that. But when people have resources and it doesn't make sense for anybody who makes that kind of money to handle it 24/7. You need people, obviously not just an interpreter, but somebody who's basically like an attaché for him, practically a life valet. And you put your trust in somebody, we're all at the mercy of picking the wrong person, getting close to the wrong person who has the ability to take us down. And I'm just, nobody wins when there's a scandal like this, but it's refreshing that Ohtani, who is a little bit mysterious, we don't know him that well for a lot of different reasons. Nobody wanted to see him be a big part of this, and it seems like he isn't. I do have sympathy for people who go through addictions, and gambling it can be a problem if it gets out of control in people's lives and everything. So I don't want to be unsympathetic to that, but it's refreshing that it seems like Ohtani was just, trusted the wrong person. He got in over his head, and that's where we are today.
Scott Pianowski's on tonight, Major League Baseball, yahoosports.com, here on the Nate Brown Show. You mentioned, and you said this a couple of times, Scott, he's going to be a two-way player. I think I've seen people talk about if he's hitting this well and he's this important, does he come back to pitch? You think the Dodgers want that?
Oh, for sure. And look, we realize we're in an era now where you don't know pitch to pitch, start to start, season to season, what to expect. Even the guys who seem bulletproof have gone down. Garrett Cole's been hurt most of the season. Verlander wasn't ready to start the season on time. We'll see when Max Scherzer comes back, and they're hoping to get Jacob deGrom also back in Texas. But there's no magic formula on how to save the pitcher. Is it the torque? Is it the velocity? Is it the all-out? You know, and Tom Seaver used to say, well, I pitch through my legs. I don't put the strain on my arm. And I have that extra gas fastball I'm going to throw 5 or 10 times a game. Now, you know, maybe those guys throw that pitch every time they rear back. It's a different world. You know, obviously sports is obviously getting faster, bigger, stronger. That's just the way evolution is in sports. But the thing with Ohtani is, you know, every 6 days, that's where he pitched in Japan. It requires some maintenance. He's obviously not a position player, so your DH is locked up, and that creates a little bit of cumbersome nature to the team. But who wouldn't want somebody who could legitimately win a Cy Young Award or an MVP with his offense? Then you combine those two things. And again, the beauty of it is they signed him. They signed him to a team-friendly deal, and he is in his age 29 season. So it's possible. It's plausible we haven't seen him. Last year, he led the league in OBP, he led the league in slugging, led the league in OPS, and this year the numbers are even better. His OPS plus, where 100 is league average, is at 210 right now. His baseball reference page is all black ink. He leads the league in doubles, leads the league in runs, leads the league in slugging. You know, and he's 29 years old. I can't tell you, Nate, that he's already had his best season. It's possible his best season may lie ahead of us.
Interesting. And you don't think pitching takes away from hitting?
Well, he pitched, you know, last year until the end of the year.
Yeah.
And 304, 412, 654 with 44 home runs. And also, some people would say, well, why steal the bases, right? I mean, it's extra strain on you. Well, if you're going to be 9 for 9 like he is this year, I have no problem with it. And also, I think it helps. I think a reason why he's gotten off to such a big start is the fishbowl of the Angels, Anaheim, the idea that him and Trout have to do everything. And we know Trout is unfortunately, you know, kind of broken down in the last few years. He's gotten injured recently. He's starting to have the Ken Griffey career, right? Unbelievable in his 20s. Is this the best baseball player ever? Think of the talks we would have had 5 years ago about Mike Trout.
Yeah.
And now it looks like he just can't get through a season. But the idea that he can go, that Ohtani goes to L.A., he doesn't have to do it himself, because Mookie Betts is a megastar, and Freddie Freeman is a megastar, and they have one of the best catchers in baseball who they just signed to an extension. And then the pitching, they just got Walker Buehler back. Eventually they'll get Kershaw back. Tyler Glass now in a year, all these pitchers are getting hurt. He's healthy, and he looks like one of the Cy Young front runners. Again, it's a city of stars. It's the team that spent the most money, has the most resources. It's just, you know, we knew when we talked a lot last year about speculation, and we knew he wasn't going to go to a small market team. It had to be something like Yankees or Mets or Cubs or Dodgers. And when you factor in that he already was familiar with the Southern California landscape, and they already had a bunch of stars, and they already have all sorts of money they want to spend, it just seemed like the perfect fit. And, you know, I'm just glad that the story that we talked about a few weeks ago hasn't derailed him at all. I mean, if it was a distraction to him, it's not showing. Because, and you know, Nate, the other story here, I know we don't have a lot of time to get into it, but the ball isn't traveling. Offense is in a bad place right now. Okay, the pitchers are dominating. I know a lot of them are getting hurt, but the OBP league-wide is about 310. You know, we're almost in like just talk about, well, have they gone too far with the humidor? Have they tinkered with the ball? They're not telling us. Baseball isn't always transparent with that. But the fact that Ohtani's putting up these numbers in a time where it might be a season where offense is actually kind of depressed, it just makes it all the more ridiculous what he's doing.
Let me ask you this before I let you run Scott Pianowski on tonight. So a lot of people out here watch the Twins, and some people here in Rapid City can't watch the Twins. Bally Sports, Diamond Sports going through bankruptcy. Comcast pulled them off in the Twin Cities. And then if you have a cable provider here in South Dakota, you can't watch them on a certain cable provider. So Twins have 22 wins. Bally's had a deal with the Twins. We've got problems. And I'm looking at, where does Major League Baseball go? They black out games on MLB.TV because you can get MLB and you want to watch the Twins in this market, Scott, it's blacked out. How does baseball figure out, get our product in front of fans?
Yeah, that's been a long-running problem with the blackout problem. If you live in a non-MLB market, you can be blacked out from a team. And the idea of the blackout is, well, they're trying to protect the team because you might go to the game. And you're seeing people who are not within driving distance of a major league club say, well, they're your local team.
Right.
You're choosing not to go to the game even though you live 3 hours away. we're going to black it out. And I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny. And I still have scar tissue the last year that Vin Scully was calling the Dodger games. There was a big brouhaha about who was going to run the Dodger games in L.A., and a bunch of people couldn't get Dodger games for Vin Scully's victory lap, which to me is just shameful, denying people that. But I'm hoping this is one of those things that a lot of times in life you have to get worse before you get better, like a golf swing or a diet or something like that. I'm hoping that this bankruptcy can lead baseball to ask itself some hard questions, and how do we promote our product, make it affordable, make it readily available, and then get rid of some of these blackout restrictions. Just don't make any sense. And whether it's Rob Manfred, and a lot of people aren't sure if he's really the right guy for the job. He's already announced that he's not going to have another term. So baseball needs somebody. Their next commissioner needs to be well-versed in communications. For years, people always said Bob Costas is the perfect commissioner, other than the fact that he'd be too smart to take the job. But he understands the broadcasting side of this, because that's where the money is now. And that's why Ohtani was such a big deal, right? Japan is baseball crazy, and you can make the game global. There's a great moment with the talent going on in baseball right now, but you have to get the games out there. You have to produce the product. You have to make it available. And what's going on right now, the Twins, you say, on a winning streak. 4 of the 5 teams in that division are playing great baseball. I know the White Sox are a mess, but that's been one of the great stories in baseball, is that division has really made a nice comeback with 4 decent teams. And right now there's a bunch of Twins fans who can't see their games. I know I live in the Metro Detroit area. Depending on who your provider is, you may be blacked out of Tiger games. And it just stinks. They have to solve this.
Scott Pianowski tonight, yahoosports.com, Major League Baseball here on the Nate Brown Show. Find him on Twitter, X at Scott_Pianowski. Scott, good stuff as always. Thanks a lot.
Great to talk to you, Nate.
Appreciate your time. Scott Pianowski's in tonight, Major League Baseball, yahoosports.com, live on the Nate Brown Show. All right, Shohei Ohtani, how about that line? Leads and average. Do you guys care about average still? I mean, I'm a baseball average guy. Leads and average, 355. Second in home runs, first in hits, first in runs, first in on-base and slugging. That's OPS. Shohei Ohtani, just on a tear. And your Twins are on a tear. They're 22-15. Twins are in good shape. Except for, there's people, there's fans that want to watch. You got Midco, you're out. It's amazing. That is amazing to me. Coming right back on the Nate Brown Show opening hour with Brian Noe, national host, great guest. He's with Fox Sports Radio, and he's on live next.
You're listening to the Nate Brown Show. Follow us and watch the show live on Twitter at Nate Brown Show.
The wait is over. Ensemble entry doors exclusively from Renewal by Andersen have arrived with an incredible offer. Secure, timeless style, elegant features, customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, you get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Please scan the QR code on your screen or visit RBARapidCity.com now to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors, the wait is over.
We are number one, so you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Looking for a career? Look no further. Pete Lean & Sons has immediate openings for ready-mix concrete delivery drivers. No CDL? No problem. We offer paid training, competitive hourly rates, and full-time hours. Plus, Pete Lean & Sons offers excellent benefits, including a low-deductible health insurance plan and a 401k with a generous company match. At Pete Lean & Sons, team members can also grow and develop their trade while supporting local communities. These are all reasons why employees hired at Pete Lean & Sons want to retire at Pete Lean & Sons. Apply now at PeteLean.com.
Hi, I'm Tim Wrench, and I'm seeking personal injury cases. If you've been injured because someone else did something wrong, call me up. I'm a trial lawyer. I've tried criminal and civil cases for decades, and I can use all of that experience to help you. I also know this, that when insurance companies know that you're represented by a trial lawyer, they take your claim more seriously, and if it is to be settled, it's settled better with a trial lawyer. Wrench Law, 605-341-1111, wrenchlaw.com.
If you want the peace of mind that your next pre-owned vehicle is the best it can be, you want Honda True. And you only find it at Danny Manholt Rushmore Honda. Our Honda certified pre-owned vehicles are thoroughly inspected and backed by 7-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, up to 2 complimentary oil changes, 24/7 roadside assistance, inspection report, and 3-day exchange. You simply can't buy the wrong vehicle. Search our inventory at honda-true.com or see us at Denny Manholt Rushmore Honda.
So, I just got the State Farm personal price plan on my car insurance. So you told your agent you play the bagpipes for your dog? What? No, I didn't get that personal. My agent just helped me create an affordable price just for me. Okay, let me show you what I've been working on. Hey, Buster!
Contact me, State Farm agent Scott Carlson, to create your personal price plan today.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Hey, it's Chris Broussard. Remember to catch the Odd Couple weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, let's get back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
All right, we are rolling on a Thursday, aren't we? We are rolling on a Thursday. It's always a great day in the Black Hills. We know that. The Nate Brown Show is live on Fox Sports Rapid City. The Nate Brown Show, South Dakota Sports Talk Show, driven by Spearfish Motors. When it comes to new 2024 Cadillacs and GMCs in the Black Hills, that's the place. Locally owned, new car and truck dealership. There's not many of those left in the region. That makes a difference. See Roger and the crew at GMC Cadillac Spearfish Motors. 1910 North Main in Spearfish. Look for the big American flag. You got the lot. Start on your phone tonight. Take a look. The new 2024s are there. GMCs and Cadillacs, a full line at spearfishmotors.com. Great place. Brian Noe is in. Fox Sports Radio national host. A lot of stuff to hit with Brian tonight. How are you, man?
I'm good, Nate. Shout out to you in the Black Hills as always. And, it's funny. I'm not even in the market for a car. I think I am now. I'm just going wherever you say I should go.
I like it. You know that. Okay, I have a question for you. I'm going to get into some NFL stuff with you. So the schedule release is coming out next week. And we know who teams are playing, but we need to know when and how this is going to go down. So that's next week. And it got me thinking, what's the best matchup to put week 1 Sunday night football? Who would you put there? And here's what I got for you. Storylines and QBs. Okay, I went through the teams, 30 teams, and I went through them all, and I said, here's the games. Steelers at Broncos, you bet. Falcons at Vikings. Bears, Caleb Williams at 49ers. And then I guess I'll throw in this one. I think this is going to be Thursday night, though, I believe, kicking off. Ravens at Chiefs. Okay, there's my 4 matchups. Which one would you find most interesting week 1?
Well, we know that the Chiefs will be on Thursday. We just don't know who they're going to face, right? So
I'm going Ravens, by the way.
Yeah, it could be Ravens. So we'll put that one to the side. I like, without knowing the matchups off the top of my head, the one of the 4 that you mentioned, like, again, put the Chiefs to the side, so it's really those 3. I would say the Bears and 49ers. Just
really?
Because,
really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Caleb Williams, he's a lightning rod for conversation. And if he's starting week 1 against the defending NFC champion 49ers, that'd be a pretty interesting matchup. I think there are others that would be good. I mean, you have so many to pick from, right?
But I want the storylines.
Depends on what they put in week 1, sure.
You know, I don't want, like, Cowboys, Packers. I mean, I get it. I mean, those are big brands. I want Russell Wilson and the Steelers at Bo Nix and Sean Payton and the Broncos. I mean, who's going to be talking about that game? Everybody. You think Steelers at Broncos? Honestly, I think that might be a week 1. I don't know. Maybe like a Monday night. Russell's been on Monday night the last 2 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd pass on that. I would pass because, look, it reminds me of when Russ went from the Seahawks to the Broncos, and that was a primetime game.
Yes.
It might have been Monday night. You remember better than me, Nate.
It was Monday.
Was that a Monday night game?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it was Monday night. But there was a lot of intrigue heading into that one. Russ, in Seattle as a member of the Broncos facing his former team, and that matchup was a lot of fun with the decision to kick a 64-yarder. It didn't work out. But we're 2 years removed from that, and 2 years where Russ, he didn't play great at all the first year. He was really bad. I thought he was a lot better last season, but the buzz, like the juice that he has for a primetime matchup, it's just not there. So, Steelers, Broncos, I think you could do a whole lot better than that matchup.
Wow, you're killing me. All right, you're just killing me. You go Caleb Williams at 49ers. That's interesting. You know who everybody voted for around here? They want to see Kirk Cousins back at Minnesota. So Kirk Cousins against Sam Darnold? I don't want that one.
No, even if it was Kirk Cousins against J.J. McCarthy, let's just say he starts week one, you could still do a whole lot better than that too, you know? There are some – let's not forget about the rock stars of the NFL, Nate, the Miami Dolphins. No, I'm just kidding. That's some homer talk right there. But all kidding aside, you could do much better as – we're talking Sunday night. This is prime real estate come week one. That's better than – Vikings, Falcons, or Steelers, Broncos. We can do a whole lot better than both of those.
All right, thanks for bringing me back to reality. I was trying to get you dialed in. By the way, nobody's hit on this much, and I think people don't want to hit on it. The NFL has announced they're going to allow players to wear the Guardian caps, the extra padding on their helmets, and they'll design them so they look like the helmets. I thought this was pretty big, yet I don't know if I love it. And then you sound like a guy, oh, you just want head injuries? You want head injuries? This is odd to me. What do you think of it?
No, I'm with you, Nate. You make a lot of sense there because that was announced, and it seemed like there was just no reaction. And so it's up to each player if they want to wear those. And if they do, that's fine. But you remember, what was it, Mark Kelso from the Bills years and years ago? He had that extra layer of padding, and they called him Kazoo, right? He looked a little alien-ish with that extra padding, but that looks like nothing compared to the Guardian caps. The Guardian caps are just over your entire – they're very big. It's a bulky type of thing, and it just doesn't – it looks odd. So I'm like you. I'm not pro head injuries. Like, yay, head injuries. I'm not that guy, but I'm just curious how many players will opt to use them, and the look of them could definitely be improved. So, yeah, that was interesting that there was really no reaction to that at all.
It's big. They'll say you can wear them in regular season games, and I thought, wow, when I saw the headline, I'm like, is this real or is this like The Onion? Honestly, I thought it for a second. I'm like, wait a second. Do you think players will wear them week one? I'm curious about that.
It's a great question. I think you might see a few. You might see a couple, but I don't think we're going to see a lot of players wear them. It really is an interesting move by the NFL where I wonder what the thinking is behind that, where they're thinking, hey, not a whole lot of players are going to wear them, and it looks good for PR purposes that we say, hey, go ahead and use them. It's all good. We don't want you to have head injuries, and they're anticipating a lot of players don't use them. I don't really know what they're thinking, but I'll be interested to see come week one how many players actually do opt to use them.
Brian Nozon tonight, national host, Fox Sports Radio. Before I get you out the door, since you bring that national perspective, that national media perspective, Brian, the group of 5 college football programs have talked this last week. These are group of 5, like 60 schools. Maybe we should just get out in front of this Power 4 break-off, do our own top 25, maybe even do our own playoff. From a national perspective, if a group of 5, 60 schools, that's Mountain West and some of these other Sun Belt Conference, some of these, if they break off and do their own thing, where do they factor in on shows on Fox Sports Radio and the like?
Yeah, sadly, not great. It wouldn't be, we wouldn't lead off with it. There might be some interesting topics from time to time. I say more power to them, right? If these Power 4 conferences are hogging everything, really, they're hogging the money, they're hogging the bulk of the playoff spots, yeah, go do your own thing. If you can start a top 25 and you start your own playoff, and hey, God bless you, you know? It's just, it would take something big to get a lot of attention. It was like when Tiger Woods was huge in golf, right? That was the main story. That would be like the Power Four in the college football playoff. Now, every now and then, some other golfer would come along and there would be a big story. But it would have to take something pretty big for that to be the case. They might get their moment in the sun. They might get some pub, some talk about, if we're talking about the playoff, and it's just these, non-Power Four schools. But it would take something pretty big to get prime real estate. That's just how it goes, because you're talking to the masses if it's a national type thing. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be breaking down UTEP football, I'll watch it. I love it, but it might not be, a prime talking point if we're doing a national show. That's just how it goes, man.
And maybe they're not there even right now, like unless they play a big boy school, unless they get in the playoff. Nobody talks about Boise State unless they get in the playoff. So I don't know if they're going to want to break off and get out in front of it or not. Some talk about that this week from the Group of Five. Brian Noe is in tonight, Fox Sports Radio, the No Show on Twitter, and he's here on Fox Sports Rapid City. Brian, thanks for hopping on tonight. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, always great to hang with you, Nate Brown. I am en route. I'm somewhere in the boonies in Tennessee on the way to New Orleans. I'm glad the connection sufficed for these 10.
Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for stopping in. I appreciate that. Brian Noe, he did make it work, man. He made it work in the middle of Tennessee. Hopping on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Radio. National host Brian Noe is in tonight. So his thoughts on some various things. He says no Steelers-Broncos week 1. No Falcons-Vikings week 1. He says I would go Bears at 49ers in the prime time game, Sunday Night Football. Oh, come on. Am I the only one interested in the Steelers at the Broncos? No, not even close. Not even close, right? I know we got a lot of Broncos fans. That's a great, interesting storyline game. Okay, I'll be wrong if I am, okay? Steelers at Broncos, that feels like a week 1 game from the NFL. Feels like a week 1 game. Hey, speaking of this Group of 5 college football scenario, let's go over to Wyoming and get perspective of a guy who's been there and seen it and done it. Kevin McKinney, longtime broadcaster with the Cowboy Sports Network, live next from Laramie.
You're listening to the Nate Brown.
The wait is over. Ensemble entry doors exclusively from Renewal by Andersen have arrived with an incredible offer. Secure, timeless style, elegant features, customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, you get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Please scan the QR code on your screen or visit RBARapidCity.com now to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors, the wait is over.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for storms. Tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 44. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain showers. Tomorrow, daytime highs approaching 68, mainly clear skies. Lows level off around 43. Tomorrow night, clear skies. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Right now, 56.
Get away from it all in the great outdoors for lasting family memories with a new or pre-owned RV from Dakota Discount RV. We make your RV experience fun and easy by providing you with a quality recreational vehicle, competitive pricing, and professional sales and service. Our large inventory of fifth-wheelers, travel trailers, toy haulers, and live-in horse trailers allows us to save our customers thousands of dollars compared to most dealers. Stop by and see us at Dakota Discount RV, 3330 East Mall Drive across from Cabela's and on JB Road, Blackhawk.
Whether you run the race, make the catch, cast a line, pitch a tent, or just look good doing it, Shields Rapid City has your gear. From athletic clothing from your favorite team, cold weather gear to keep you warm, to the best camping selection this side of the Black Hills, and the most stylish and functional women's outerwear and footwear. Shields has the widest selection of the best brands in the business. So when you're ready to get out, get in the game, or get going, get to Shields. Shields, we're right there with you at Rushmore Crossing in Rapid City.
Are you thinking about starting or expanding a business? At Black Hills Federal Credit Union, our dedicated business lending team focuses on understanding our members' unique needs and truly wants to help them succeed. From the loans to get your business off the ground to the accounts to keep it running, we offer unique products with your business's best interest in mind. Learn more at bhfcu.com or text or call 605-718-1818. BHFCU is a member-owned, not-for-profit.
Hi, this is Dan Patrick. Remember to catch me weekday mornings from 7 until 10 a.m. right here on 106.7 FM and 1150 a.m. Fox Sports Rapid City. And now, back to Rapid City's sports talk show, The Nate Brown Show.
Hey, welcome back in on a Thursday. The Nate Brown Show is live. The Drive at 5 kicking off right now. The Drive at 5 on South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Brought to you by Summit Automotive Group. Pre-owned selection at Summit is outstanding, but they want quality, affordability, the right financing. So all of that stuff, the Summit difference, car buying built around you. Find out how. Start at summitautogrp.com. summitautogrp.com. When it comes to pre-owned, before you buy, it's summitautogrp.com. Start there on your phone. Take a look. Coming up, a Thursday happy hour with Rob Kegron. He's on his way into the studio. Our guest host, brought to you by the Skybox. Straight ahead. We got a lot to shoot around with Rob. All right, so people are shooting down some of these week one matchups that I want to see for the NFL. I mean, Brian Noe just shot it out of the sky, but I said, think about the storylines. We need storylines and quarterbacks. That's how the NFL schedules games. Do you guys want to see Aaron Rodgers and the Jets in week one over Russell Wilson and Bo Nix? I mean, do you guys want to see the rerun of Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and see what happens with that organization? Or would we want to see Steelers at Broncos? Would we want to see Falcons at Vikings? Would you want to see Caleb Williams at the 49ers? Let's go to the votes here. 52% voting for the best week one matchup to watch, most interesting. 52% say Falcons at Vikings. The Kirk Cousins visit to Minnesota. 52% want to see that week one. I don't think you're going to get that one. I don't think you're going to get Kirk's like, he's just bland. It's just him. It's just Kirk. It's like having this Christian Ponder jersey up in the studio that McJudgerson brought in here. It's just there. You know, you kind of just look at it. It's just there. 18% voting for the Steelers at the Broncos. 8% Bears at the 49ers. You don't find that one interesting? Caleb Williams at the NFC champion 49ers? I think that has a better chance than the Falcons at the Vikings, honestly. I don't know if they're going to throw Caleb Williams to the Wolves there, but number one pick, Caleb Williams talked about for months and months and months, and the Bears play at the 49ers. Will the NFL put that one in week one? The schedule release is next week. Okay, a college football story that I want to get to, and then we'll get to Rob Kegron. He's on his way in. We'll revisit. We'll get Rob's pick for best interesting matchup for week one. College football just continues to throw out ideas. There's going to be changes coming. We know this. Some pretty significant ones, some big ones coming. Here's the latest, and I guess I don't get this one. So there's a new athlete compensation model that they're putting together, a power conference thing. How are we going to revenue share? How are we going to compensate athletes? Out of that thing today, here's what's being talked about. Reducing football rosters in Division I from 115 players, like now you can get 115, 120 players, to 85 players. So you're like, what? I'm going, what are we doing here? So the 85 players would align with the maximum scholarship number right now, okay? So just to kind of keep you plugged in, how does D1 football work now? 85 players get scholarships, okay? But teams bring in walk-ons. The Huskers have a famous walk-on program. Teams bring in walk-ons. You can get that number up to 115 to 120. And so this discussion that's going on with the changes coming to college football, they're having this debate over football roster numbers. And I just saw the Wyoming coach, Jay Sawville, the new head coach at Wyoming, say, why do they keep trying to screw things up? and the point of that is, we're going to eliminate walk-on spots now at Division I college football programs? And they're saying, well, we're going to go 85, reduce the number. That'll bring it down to a revenue sharing piece where, hey, the less players we have, I see. The less players we have, yes, we're all feeling good. You see how this works? We don't need 115, 120 players. Why would we need walk-ons? And we're going to have to revenue share with those guys? Or do they just say, if you're on a scholarship, you're part of the revenue sharing model, and we're just going to keep that number at 85? My point is, I get what they're trying to look at. I think it totally transforms teams and programs and kids out of high school, by the way, who get missed all the time. There's stories of walk-ons at Nebraska. I know of one at Wyoming in my family. Walked on at Wyoming, no scholarship, started 3 years. And needless to say, got the scholarship, All-American, academic All-American, All-Conference, Mount West, the whole thing. That's where the walk-on piece comes in. So this whole compensation model and the powers that be trying to figure out, well, how do we, let's see, if we got a revenue share and we're going to kind of look at this, maybe we should just eliminate the football rosters from 120, 115 down to 85. Who needs those walk-ons anyway, right? I mean, nobody needs walk-ons. This is the type of stuff you go, okay, who else is going to be part of the damage? Okay, it's unintended consequences of, well, we got to take care of the players and pay the players and revenue share, but do we need these guys on top of it? That's what's being talked about, honestly. Taking the football rosters from 120 down to the strict 85, and you know why. Coming right back, Thursday Happy Hour kicks off with Rob Kegron live in studio, presented by the Skybox. A lot to get to, including, oh yes, I'm going to ask Rob, here we go, his top 3 front-running fan bases. This is going to be a treat. And his top 3 biggest fan bases, like truest fan bases in the country. I've got mine. We'll get into his coming up.
Did you miss an interview or great segment on The Nate Brown Show? Just find The Nate Brown Show podcast and listen wherever you download your podcasts.
Save big money on everything for your next project at Menards. Spring is here, making it the perfect time for outdoor projects. Suncast storage sheds are an excellent solution for protecting outdoor lawn and gardening tools. They're easy to assemble, and the all-weather construction provides water resistance and UV protection. Save big on Suncast storage sheds. View our selection of Suncast products today in store and on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Do something special for Mom on Mother's Day and bring her to the Horseshoe Restaurant at First Gold Gaming Resort. Our staff has prepared the perfect meal that includes slow-roasted USDA prime rib, 2 pieces of our famous fried chicken, garlic mashed potatoes, corn, and a homemade dessert. Just $20.95 for adults, half price for kids 4 to 12, and free for children 3 and under. It's a delicious and affordable way to celebrate Mother's Day. Serving from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. at the Horseshoe Restaurant inside First Gold Gaming Resort.
KIMM Rapid City and K294BT Rapid City, the Black Hills Sports Station, 106.7 FM and 1150 AM, Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson, McPherson Auction Company. On today's online-only auction, we are selling surplus for Rice's Rapid Motorsports, former location 301 Campbell Street in Rapid City, South Dakota. Selling tools, easy ups. Here's a 12-foot fan, collectible signs, older Honda riding mower, Bobcat finish mower attachment, pull-behind broom attachment, 2024 Yamaha four-wheeler with 2 miles, a Sea-Doo Wave Runner, 3 boats, several side-by-sides and four-wheelers. Auction closing 6 p.m. For more auction details and to bid and buy, go to McPhersonAuction.com.
Hi, this is David Brenneman with Coldwell Banker Black Hills Legacy in Rapid City. Have you thought about buying a home or real estate in the Black Hills? Maybe you want to upgrade to your forever home? I have been helping people in the Black Hills find the right home for nearly 20 years. When it comes to buying or selling, experience matters. Let me do the work and you can open the door to your new home. Say hello to a good buy with me, David Brenneman. To get started, just Google David Brenneman, Coldwell Banker.
If you're in the market for a vehicle right now, you probably have noticed it's sometimes hard to find the right one. That's where Summit Automotive Group steps in. Stacy and Matt and their staff working hard to get a great selection of pre-owned vehicles at affordable prices. At Summit Automotive, they have a different outlook on selling you a vehicle. You'll experience stress-free shopping, friendly, honest service with no high-pressure sales gimmicks. Before you buy, drop by East Highway 44, SummitAutoGRP.com.
Nearly 150 years ago, Americans didn't race across the plains to settle. They pioneered. They toiled and ground the land into the world we know today, creating opportunities, not just for themselves, but for future generations. Don't settle. Pioneer. Pioneer Bank and Trust. Local.
Member FDIC. Hi, it's Colin Coward. Great to be in the Black Hills. Getting heard weekdays 10 to 1 on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM. Fox Sports Rapid City.
All right, we're ready on a Thursday. Thanks for being here. The Nate Brown Show is live, and it's Thursday Happy Hour. You know it. It's brought to you by the Skybox, our sports bar. Fox Sports Rapid City's headquarters. The Skybox, best place to watch games. Firehouse Brew. Listen, Firehouse Wines. What do you want? They got it. The burgers, the wings, the games. Skybox, right above the Firehouse for sports fans. That's where you want to go. Main Street. Rob Kagerot's in studio. Thursday Happy Hour. We got a lot to hit here. I've had Rob do some work today. I mean, this is odd, but I said, you got to give me your top 3 best fan bases across the country, all sports, okay? So we've had some back and forth on this with the audience this week, Rob. So I've got mine. I want to get yours. And then the top 3 front-running fan bases, because this all derived from everybody's a Timberwolves fan now. Boy, it's amazing. Nobody liked him, and now everybody loves him. Top 3 front-runner fan bases. We're going to get to that. Let me start with this. So NFL schedule release next week. You're a football craze fan. Schedule release. Do you like knowing when and how this is going to go down?
Yeah, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm not a huge draft guy, because I think it's such a crapshoot. There's so many picks that just never pan out to anything. And I'll watch the first round because of the excitement of it, maybe some trades, obviously all the quarterbacks. I watched it to basically picture you being miserable as your team picked Bo Nix. I really got a kick out of that for sure, that Thursday night a few weeks ago. But so I'm not into the draft, but I'm absolutely into the schedule.
You are.
100%, because it all becomes real at that point, right? You get this schedule release sometime beginning or middle May. Actually, it's going to be a week later this year than it was last year. Last year would have been tonight.
Oh, okay.
The way it was. But you get to the beginning of May, and you finally start to see what it's going to be like. You have your team. You've signed your free agents. You've drafted your players. And now you start getting hope, because I can try to figure out how many wins can I get out of my team, other teams. Obviously, we're going to watch all of the games. We're going to gamble on games. But to me, that's when it's when it becomes real, that the season, certainly not imminent by any means, but the season becomes real because you know who you're playing.
Okay, it's interesting. People I saw, I don't care when the Broncos play whoever or where, when that's going to be. you would say you want to know when the Giants are playing at Dallas and all of that.
Absolutely. I want to know when my team is playing my division games. I want to know when they're playing if they're playing on Sunday night or Monday night. Now, I don't expect a whole lot of that for the New York Football Giants this year.
Get zero?
They'll get one. They'll get a Monday night football game for sure. I don't think they'll get a Sunday night game, to be quite honest. I don't think they deserve one. But you want to see, is your team going to make it? Is your team going to play on one of the holidays? Is it going to play on Thanksgiving? Is it going to play on Christmas? And I want to see, even if my team is not playing, I want to know what do I have to look forward to on Thanksgiving, on Christmas, on now Black Friday. I'm really interested in that part of it.
Okay, so here's the storylines and quarterbacks that I said would be interesting. This is me. I looked through the 30 teams. I'm looking at the possible matchups. Do I want to see Green Bay 49ers week 1? Well, I guess the NFL could say, hey, that's Sunday night. It's NFC champion. Packers gave them a heck of a game last year. Jordan Love and Packers 49ers. That's two big brands. That's a Sunday night game. I'm going, that's a game. But maybe I'm off on this. So I looked at it and I said, would you pick one of these, Rob Kegron? I'm going to go, who would you want to see week 1? The interesting matchup week 1. I know I'm going to put the Steelers at Broncos in there. I believe that could be a week 1 matchup. Maybe I'm just a Broncos homer, but I think the Russell return to Denver is a great storyline that could be talked about a lot. Falcons, Vikings, Kirk, as milquetoast as he is, he's coming back to Minnesota, and Caleb Williams at the 49ers. To me, that's a bigger one than Packers 49ers. We had some votes for Packers 49ers. Those are the games. And my guess is this. Chiefs are going to be on Thursday night. You always have Super Bowl champ Thursday night, that opener. Maybe it'll be Ravens, Chiefs. I don't know. Who would you want to watch week 1? You get to pick Sunday night football, essentially.
You know, it's Sunday night football. I'm looking for something interesting. I'm looking for what I hope to be, at the very least, a decent game, right? Two teams that maybe not have to be the most evenly matched up, but you don't want blowouts, right? You get to that first Sunday night, you want an interesting matchup, a good tight game. And I like leaving some of those rematches of particularly the championship games, if they exist, like Ravens Chiefs. I like leaving that for later in the season.
You don't think that's going to be like Thursday night?
No, I don't think so. I think the Chiefs will not play the Ravens. They'll play someone else.
Okay.
And because in particular, those are two I think you and I would both agree they're still going to be both excellent teams going into this season. I want to see them when all cylinders are firing, not in the first week of the season where sometimes things go right. I mean, think about it. The Chiefs played last year in the first game of the season, got their butts kicked by the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
I remember taking the Lions in that game plus 5.5. So I like seeing those kind of matchups later. I'm looking for more of a storyline here. And I think Caleb Williams and the receivers that they've put around him is an interesting story, but I don't think it's the most interesting story. I think, and I don't think they will do this, but it's what I would do. I'd put the Falcons at the Vikings.
You would?
Absolutely.
As boring as Kirk Cousins is, they're going to be holding hands going back to Minnesota. Nobody's going to boo him. They're going to be loving it. It's going to be kumbaya there. That's going to be boring.
There is layers to this, though, Nate. You have Cousins, who signs this huge deal, who leaves Minnesota with no ill will. It's not like the Viking fan really couldn't stand Cousins. I think most of them understand why he left, $100-something million guaranteed. And then you have right behind him the guy they drafted, Michael Penix, who's going to be standing on the sideline there. And you have something similar, not exactly the same. The one caveat, the one problem with my scenario is the guy who's probably going to start week 1 for the Vikings is Sam Darnold.
Yes.
Right? So it's not like we need to see Sam Darnold, but you're going to see J.J. McCarthy on the side, too. So you get these two future quarterbacks that may even play. Well, I don't think Penix would play this year unless Cousins gets hurt. But McCarthy, I think, has a really good shot of playing this season, maybe as early as week 4, 5, 6, something like that if Darnold struggles. I think having 4 quarterbacks who you're going to be talking about in one game makes it an interesting matchup.
That's your storyline. Okay. I think the Falcons-Vikings is going to be too lovey-dovey. It's not bitter. You don't think Steelers-Broncos is actually bitter? Sean Payton, he makes the pick to... You can hear the broadcast now. He kicked Russell out, the Super Bowl champ, and he brings in Bo Nix. You think people would want to watch Bo Nix debut? You know he's going to be starting, so it's a guarantee. McCarthy's not. Penix is not. Nix is starting. Russell Wilson is starting. Steelers at Broncos. I don't know if they'll do it. I have a feeling it could make week one. Maybe not Sunday night. What about Monday night? Wouldn't surprise me.
Would not surprise me at all on Monday night. Absolutely not. It would be a great storyline. Are you sure Nix is going to start?
He's starting. That's it. Lock it.
If you told me Nix first, and that's why I probably I wasn't sure about that. If you're telling me that you really think Nix is going to start, and again, I don't even know that Wilson's going to start. I mean, I think he has the edge in the job, but if he didn't have a great camp and Fields did, I would not be shocked if they gave it to Fields.
Russell's got it. It's Russell against Bo Nix.
If
that's week one.
If that is the actual matchup, if those are the two guys who start, I'd be all for it. I think that would be a great storyline.
Does that leak into Sunday night?
No, I think Monday night. That's a Monday night game.
So what? Sunday night, we're going to get one of these big brand teams, big brand Cowboys against somebody?
I can't tell you how many times I've watched my Giants get beat in week one on Sunday night against the Cowboys. It happens like 7 out of the last 10 years.
We want to see Dak Prescott again in a recycled deal on Sunday Night Football. I want Russell and Bo Nix. I think it would be huge. Listener text here coming in for us, Rob. Nate, are you rooting for Russell to beat the Broncos? Oh, give me a break. Give me a break.
You're not that miserable.
No, give me a break. I'm a Russell fan. I'm a Broncos lifer. Give me a break. Listener text, Rob, your Giants will not be getting a Monday night game. Sorry.
That's just not true. I mean, that's someone who's not. I shouldn't say that. I was about to say something that would have come off wrong. Yeah, the Giants are going to have a Monday night game. All right,
they are.
2 seasons ago, they were a playoff team who won against Minnesota. They had a terrible year last year. Jones did not play well at the beginning and then was hurt. But they had a lot of life 2 years ago. There's no way they're not giving a team from New York a primetime game. I didn't say it was a Sunday night game, but they are going to get a Monday night game, and they might even get 2.
Well, a team from New York, it'll be Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
They're
going to
get a few,
right?
They're going to get a few as well. The Jets are going to get Sunday night and Monday night games. The Giants will probably only get a Monday night. But to say they're not going to get a primetime game, come on. It's the New York Football Giants.
Does Aaron Rodgers make it into a prime week one matchup Monday night or something? Does Aaron Rodgers' return make it into Monday night?
They did it last year, so it would make a lot of sense to do that. I could see them being the Sunday night game for sure.
Oh, so you want to see Aaron Rodgers that bad on that bad team?
It's the first time. Wait a minute. The Jets are not going to be a bad team.
Oh, that's
Nate.
a bad team.
Nate.
That's a bad team.
Nate.
No, they're not.
What's
they're
wrong,
not going to be
Nate?
good. They're not going to be good.
I mean, sometimes we argue because we have different opinions. That's crazy.
That's not a good team.
The Jets?
No. Call me when they beat the Bills and the Dolphins. Get back to me.
He only played like 6 plays in the first game of the season.
Aaron's washed, man. He's washed. It's over.
The Jets are going to be a 10-win team, Nate.
My goodness, I didn't think we'd go down that road, but that's a good one. Maybe we'll save it. Okay, let me get into this. I got to go to this because top front-running fan base, I think this is a fun one. All sports, people have voted. Top fan base, like real fan base, large fan base. We're talking college, NFL, Major League Baseball, whatever you want to say. Give me your top 3. We'll get into it with Rob next. The Nate Brown Show Live.
This is the Nate Brown Show.
The wait is over. Ensemble entry doors exclusively from Renewal by Andersen have arrived with an incredible offer. Secure, timeless style, elegant features, customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, you get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Please scan the QR code on your screen or visit RBARapidCity.com now to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors, the wait is over.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
Hi, it's Nate Brown for Black Hills Community Bank. If you run your own company or you're looking to start a small business here in the Black Hills, you want to make sure you choose the right banking partner. And I know the right choice for business is Black Hills Community Bank. They have plenty of banking options to suit your specific needs. And Black Hills Community Bank is here to help business owners thrive and to make sure you have the support and tools to help your business grow. Just contact one of their business loan experts today or visit bhcbank.com. Member FDIC.
Have you ever really thought about how important your front door, and every entry door into your home for that matter, really is? That door provides security for your family and so much more. The wait is over. Ensemble Doors by Renewal by Andersen have arrived. These awesome secure doors have timeless style, elegant features. They can be customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, Renewal by Andersen is offering an incredible value on Ensemble entry doors. You get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Ensemble entry doors by Renewal by Andersen are just so much better. They're built with the best quality materials, including Renewal by Andersen's exclusive Fibrex, which has been tested to deliver enhanced security, certified performance, and lasting beauty. Please visit RBARapidCity.com now. That's RBARapidCity.com to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors, the wait is over.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio, sales, service, and recreation, this is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Hey, welcome back in on a Thursday. It's Happy Hour brought to you by the Skybox. Every Thursday, Rob Kagron in studio as guest host here on the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City. Your sports, your show. The Skybox is your sports bar right above the Firehouse downtown Main Street. Great place for the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. They got it, and great food and brews from the Firehouse. At the Skybox, listener text coming in. Let's see, somebody said, the Jets are going to be better than your Broncos. Well, that's not going to be hard. Anyway, I mean, we got Bo Nix and nobody. That's saying something. You guys need to have a side bet on which team will have a better record, the Jets or the Broncos. Well, now, why would I do that? I just said the Jets are going to be bad, right? I said that, bad. When I say bad, I mean like 8-9. They're going to be 8-9.
Okay.
And you said 10-7.
10-7.
10-7.
10-7.
I mean, why do you? I don't understand where the Jets' love coming from here. Just Aaron Rodgers?
The defense is great.
45-year-old Aaron Rodgers?
The defense is great. He's gonna. The offensive line is already better. He has some people he can throw the ball to. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, very interesting. Let's get into this. This is a fun one. The T-Wolves are rolling. They've won 6 straight. And I was slow to this. I got a pizza bet on this, too. I mean, I don't know how this all happens, but I bet a Wolves fan a pizza that this was a long time ago. Before the playoffs started, he said the Wolves would go further than the Nuggets. And I'm like, oh, give me a break. Okay, I'll take you on that. So we got a pizza on the line. Now I'm trouble.
You're in trouble.
We're in big trouble.
Yep.
So the Wolves are up 2-0. Now everybody's looking at, I'm a Wolves fan. Man, these guys are fun. I get it. It's okay to get on the bandwagon a little bit, but I want you to be a Wolves fan like this guy I bet a pizza on. He was talking about the Wolves 3 years ago on this show. 3 years ago, when nobody is. So I looked at it. People like jumping on that front runner. You know, they haven't won quite yet, but just watch. If the Wolves go all the way, just watch. Oh, I've been an Anthony Edwards fan. I mean, these guys are the real deal. So you jump on the front runner fan base bandwagon, and it got me thinking, Rob, who has the biggest front runner fan base in sports? Top 3. I've got mine, and I wonder if they're going to match up with yours.
I bet you they're not. So now, I just want to make sure I'm clear on this. When you say front-runner fan base, are you talking about a fan base that only kind of shows up when the team is winning?
Yeah, or
that attracts more people when they're winning, right? Because I can think of fan bases that when the team isn't very good, they're nowhere to be found.
Like the Wolves, by the way.
They win, the Wolves is a good example of it.
Right.
And they've been bad for a long time.
Yes.
Once they win, though, they all come back out. I've been a fan the whole time. Well, you were, but you haven't shown up to the stadium or watched a game in 7 years.
Okay, I get that. It's a little different.
Okay, so that's not what you're talking about. More about a bandwagon team where people join into that.
Little bandwagon front runner. Let me give you mine. I say, oh, I'm a fan of this team. Oh yeah, it's because they always win or they have won. These are my top three. The Lakers. Okay, and it's because why? I'm Showtime Lakers. We won back in the day. Then it was Shaq and Kobe. I'm on board with that. Then we hit like a lull. I mean, the Lakers, you remember, they stunk. I mean, they were terrible. Where did the Lakers fans go? Now LeBron's there. Oh, wait a second. I'm a Lakers fan. This is the real deal. So Lakers love wearing their stuff when they're winning. Okay, I think they got a base. I didn't put these guys at 1, but I should have. I was nice. I put them at 2 because I've never seen so many people come out of the weeds the last 8 years for your Kansas City Chiefs. I've never seen flags flying in my neighborhood, and now I see flags flying from my neighbor. I don't know if he's trolling me or not, but he's flying a Kansas City Chiefs flag. Chiefs are number 2. I'm a bandwagon front-runner Chiefs fan. Now, some Chiefs fans have gotten upset at me, Rob, this week. They say, I've been a fan since the 80s. I understand. Not everybody's a front-runner, but number 1, I'm going to put them at number 1, is the New York Yankees. The Yankees from so many years ago, and you got the Jeter people and they think they've just I was a Yankees fan all the way back in the day. No, you weren't. You were a Yankees fan because they win. They were so bad. They hit a stretch there before Jeter and the bunch. Before that was a bad stretch.
Very bad.
They were one of the worst teams. So they were terrible. Now people think, I'm a Yankees fan. Best team money can buy. There's my 3. Lakers, Chiefs, Yankees. How does that fit your model?
Yeah, I definitely, one of them for sure I have in, and I think all of them are good choices. I'm not as convinced as someone who's from New York that the Yankees have a lot of front-runner fans. I think part of that is because they've been, again, they haven't necessarily made the playoffs, so they haven't won the World Series since 2009, but they're consistently good every year since 1995.
They have a chance.
Right? Every year.
What about a South Dakota Yankees fan? It's not you guys from New York where you're criticizing the team. You're that. What about a South Dakota? You see a guy in a Yankees jersey around here, what do you think?
I mean, they picked him up either when they started winning in the mid-90s or they're a lot older when they were winning in the 70s.
Okay, there you go.
One or the other.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right, it's not because, I stuck with them there in the 80s. No.
Yeah. So I actually agree with you on the Chiefs, right? I think the Chiefs were irrelevant for a very long time.
Right, it's just middle of the road.
And now you have fans all over the place, whether it be Mahomes or the fact that they're winning now with Taylor Swift. There are so many people who are interested and fans of the Kansas City Chiefs who couldn't have named 3 quarterbacks who played for the Chiefs before Patrick Mahomes.
That is correct.
I mean, to me, they are just jumping on that all the time. I think another one for me is the Los Angeles Dodgers.
It is. People were voting for the Dodgers yesterday.
And they were not good. I wouldn't say not good, but they were average at best for a very long time, say 15 years ago, right? But the last 10 to 15, they're perennially right there every single year. They're top of the West. I think they've only lost the NL West once of the last 10 or 11 years, and they're just so good. And now all it is now because of Ohtani too.
Oh man,
they sign they have a great farm system. They sign all of these foreign players, and they become and it's La La Land, right? They become fans of this kind of California dream, even though they've only won 1 World Series in that time, and it was during the COVID year, of course.
And if they're not winning in L.A., they're not Dodger fans, right?
Absolutely.
Same story with the Lakers. To me, like, you got to be winning. Otherwise, out in L.A., they're like, oh, no, there's so much stuff to do out here. Well, that means you're soft fans.
Yep, absolutely. The other one for me is a New York team, but it's not the Yankees.
Oh.
And it's going on right now. It's the New York Knicks.
Really?
Because the Knicks, when you and I grew up, we're basically almost the same age. The Knicks were really good, right?
Yes.
And you were a Bulls fan at that time. I remember you telling me that. The Knicks were really good. We could never really get over the hump. We'd either lose to Indiana or Miami. We lost a lot to your Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan. We got to the finals in '94, lost to Houston. We got to the finals a few years later against San Antonio, lost. And the Knicks have been irrelevant.
Yes.
For essentially 20 years. And there were a couple years with Carmelo Anthony where they were decent, make the playoffs, but do nothing. And now it's Jalen Brunson and the Villanova kids.
It's just 1 year of this.
And,
really.
1 year.
Right.
And everyone in New York is a Knicks fan again. People who hadn't watched a game in 7 years.
I believe that. And
They would never
care.
show up.
Yes.
They didn't care. And it was the only people who would show up to Knicks games were celebrities because they wanted to be seen on the television at Madison Square Garden. Now everyone in New York, Knicks hats, Knicks jerseys, you never cared.
So you're hearing this a little bit from some of your friends back there.
These were the same people who were rooting for the Brooklyn Nets when it was Durant and Kyrie.
They were going to jump on that bandwagon.
They love that. Now those guys are all gone. So, well, let's go back to the Knicks. They are the biggest front runner. No one pays attention to the Knicks unless they win.
I like that. That's a good play. A little insight. By the way, I do get that feeling because I've watched the Knicks games here. So I'm watching the playoff game. And I know it's a great atmosphere and the Garden's unreal. But the fans are just juiced. I mean, you're hearing the chants and the stuff. They are just juiced. That's a great fan base at the games. But you can tell, I'm thinking to myself, were you guys this juiced like the last 5 years?
Nothing. You couldn't even get, I mean, yeah, they'd fill it, but it was because those tickets are always tough to get, but nobody cared, right? They did never mattered. They would, and here's how you know it in New York. Are they on the back page of the paper, right? The back page of the paper is the sports stuff. Never on the back page. No one talking about them on sports radio. A lot of teams in New York, so a lot of competition. But if you're good in New York in the spring when there's not a whole lot else going on, no football, I'll give you a quick one. The summer of '94, so this is a long time ago, the New York Rangers and the New York Knicks both went to their respective finals.
Okay.
They both went to Game 7 of the finals for each one. Knicks lost to the Rockets. Rangers beat the Vancouver Canucks. Those 2 months from April to June were the most amazing sports months that I can ever remember in New York City. And it's because they're all front runners. Oh, we can't wait to see these guys win.
I believe that. And it's happening again. By the way, it's an interesting story out of New York. So you put the Chiefs in there. I went Yankees. You go Knicks. I went Lakers. So it's interesting. Let me jump to not the front runners. I find this list debatable. Who has the best, the largest, the biggest fan base across the country? Not just I'm on board when we're winning. The best, biggest, largest fan base in the country. Which three teams get our vote next?
From high school to college to the pros, this is the Nate Brown Show on 106.7 FM and 1150 AM Fox Sports Rapid City.
The wait is over. Ensemble entry doors exclusively from Renewal by Andersen have arrived with an incredible offer. Secure, timeless style, elegant features, customized countless ways with the legendary quality of Renewal by Andersen. Right now, you get 20% off every Ensemble entry door. No money down, no interest, and no payments for 12 months. No payments for a year. Please scan the QR code on your screen or visit RBARapidCity.com now to book your free estimate. Ensemble entry doors, the wait is over.
We are number one. So you can always be their number one. Black Hills Surgical Hospital and Black Hills Orthopedic and Spine Center. The number one hospital in the nation for major orthopedic surgery.
This isn't just the sound of a legendary Brunswick pool table. It's the sound of families about to make memories together. And while this may sound like the hum of a spa, listen closely, and you'll hear backyard fun for years to come. So while Splash City's guarantee of quality sure sounds good, we know quality time sounds even better.
Who wants another burger? Splash City, 1024 West Omaha, across from Connects in Rapid City.
Building projects can be completed complex. The risks are great and time is money. Consolidated Construction of Rapid City simplifies the process by being your advocate, guiding you through funding, design, and construction. They manage the players and the schedule and marry the design to your budget so you get the most for your investment. They promise an energizing experience before, during, and after construction. It's not enough that you get a quality building. They pledge you'll experience quality every step of the way. Consolidated Construction. OneCallToBuild.com.
Hanging with Brian from Anytime Auto Sales. I see a new model of Bushwhacker Teardrop on your lot.
Yes, you do. We're proud to feature the new Radical line of Bushwhackers from Braxton Creek. Bang for the buck, there's nothing out there like these new Bushwhacker campers.
You just gotta see these new Radical Bushwhacker Teardrops. The suspension on these campers, it's impressive, and so many options for their size.
They are super cool. They took the already beefy off-road Bushwhacker Teardrop and simply put it on steroids, just raising their boondocking camper game another notch.
And looks like new graphics everywhere too.
Yes, new graphics as well, with kitchens, refrigerators, built-in furnace and air conditioning systems. Self-contained off-road suspension campers that are so perfect for where we live. These give you tent camping feel but get you off the ground in a much higher level of comfort. It's time for adventure junkies to head for the hills.
Come check out these Bushwhacker Teardrops now at Anytime Auto Sales. See AnytimeAnytime.com, and is always on the corner of Highway 79 and East Minnesota.
Anytime Auto Sales.
Customer service and knowledge. You expect it, and we provide it. As a general insurance agency, Fisher Rounds & Associates has aligned itself with the nation's strongest carrier networks, giving you the highest quality coverage at the best possible price. When it comes to claims or other issues, we handle everything so you don't have to. That's what we mean when we say we're at your service and at your side. Fisher Rounds & Associates, proudly serving South Dakota with offices in Pierre, Mitchell, Rapid City, Sioux Falls, and Watertown.
Hey, this is Rob Parker from The Odd Couple. Don't miss our show weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Rapid City. And now we'll send you back to Rapid City Sports Talk Show, The Nate Brown Show.
We are back on a Thursday. It's happy hour on the Nate Brown Show, Fox Sports Rapid City. A reminder, if you miss any parts of the show, we had a busy show this week. A lot of great guests across the board. The Nate Brown Show podcast is up. Covered the Arena Football League and what's been going on and what's up next. Well, the Marshals are going to be playing Saturday night at the Monument, 6:30, against the Billings Outlaws. There's been a lot of things happening there. So if you missed some of the shows, worth your time to get the Nate Brown Show podcast. Search The Nate Brown Show wherever you get your podcasts. Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon. The Nate Brown Show. Search it, and you've got the podcast, every show, every guest. Thursday Happy Hour brought to you by the Skybox, Rapid City's best sports bar right above the Firehouse. That's where you want to go. Grab a cold one, watch the games. Rob Kagron's in studios, our guest host. We went with front-runner fan base, and people have argued about that. Some people voted for your Dodgers, so there was some Dodger front-running votes here. I'm going to go with the next one. How about the top three best? You say this is different, but best, biggest, largest fan base across the country. Do you think there's going to be some crossover in the front-runners? Not to me. I only see the KC Chiefs right now. It's just kind of been a new phenomenon. This hasn't been a long history of fans across the country going to games on the road and wearing the jerseys, and you see this. You could go down to Las Vegas, and you got to look and say, who's wearing the jerseys? Which teams are represented? Which teams sell out other stadiums? When you go to Coors Field, do you see the opposing team's fans there? So these are my top three biggest fan bases, real supporters across the country, where you would go and say, there's fans of this team in every state, and there's a lot of them. I'm going to go three, Rob Kagron. Number three, my Chicago Cubs. My Chicago Cubs. WGN back in the day. You know this.
Absolutely.
Harry Carey, Steve Stone. Why did a guy from Montana, that's where I'm from, Montana, how did I become a Cubs fan in the middle of Montana? It was Andre Dawson. It was Ryan Sandberg, Mark Grace. It was the Chicago Cubs. They never were quite great, but they were always kind of in there. I became a Cubs lifer, and I think you go to games. I've went to games now in Philly, Coors Field, Arizona. Where else have I watched the Cubs? Numerous places. So I've went to the away stadiums. This is when I was young and in love, and we go on No Kids, and we go to watch the Cubs. You'd have Cubs fans in Coors Field, sometimes more Cubs fans than Rockies fans.
Yep.
Cubs fans there in Philly, a ton. So I think the Cubs play. I think it's a nationwide following and very loyal. 108 years, no title. We know the story. So I go Cubs 3. Some people have argued with me on that, not thinking it's quite big enough. Number 2, begrudgingly, biggest fan base, biggest brand, most popular, Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys. People have said you should put the Cowboys up there. It's the NFL. They're number 1. It's America's team. Self-proclaimed. I mean, where did people get this Cowboys love, Rob? Was it Troy Aikman and the deal there, that dynasty in the 90s? Is that where the Cowboys became the Cowboys? So I'm going to go 2 because I do see Cowboys fans around here.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. A lot of them.
Yes.
Yep.
So I'm going to go Cowboys number 2. Number 1, this is about a following that's global. You're not going to see a lot of global followings. It's global. It's a religion. It's a brand, and it's on NBC. No other team has their own network broadcasting their games. The biggest fan base is Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Am I off on that?
No, you're absolutely not. I had Notre Dame on mine for sure.
You did? Okay,
absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you said it best. There's one college team in America that has its own TV contract. How is that not the biggest fan base, the biggest brand?
It's not CBS Sports Network. It's NBC.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're going to go, you got Notre Dame on your list. And by the way, it is a worldwide following, by the way. You got Notre Dame fans. They got games they play over in Dublin. They do the whole thing. So Notre Dame fans, and they haven't been winning games.
Yep.
But you still see Notre Dame fans. You'll see them around here. It's loyal.
Yep. And so I'm just going to jump to 2 because that's who I had them as. Because I still think as a college, it's a little bit different. They have a huge fan base. They're very supportive. Own TV contract, like you said. But I think a couple of these, at least one pro team is bigger than that. And so my third one, it's an interesting one. It's a little bit different, and you might poo-poo this a bit, but to me, it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have and this is what I noticed. Same thing, kind of like you do. They travel better than almost any team. I'd say the only team that comes close to traveling as well as the Steelers is the Packers. But the difference is
49ers.
Yeah,
little bit.
49ers is a little bit removed because they're so far west. I've been to enough games on the East Coast where you don't see a whole lot of San Francisco 49ers fans. You see Steelers, I think part of it is how good they were for all throughout the 70s, how good they've been over the last 20 years.
Been good. Playoffs
that terrible
all the time.
towel kind of culture, and the fact that you see their fans everywhere. There isn't a place that they don't sell. I love, I shouldn't say this, but I have Broncos season tickets. I love and they're coming this year, when the Steelers come to Denver, because it's one of the easiest tickets to sell because Steelers fans buy them and pay a ton for it.
I believe that. I'm not going to kill that. I think Steelers fan base is, it's a little niche to me, maybe a little niche, but I'd go, Steelers are okay. I've thought about Packers too. That's kind of the same type of thing.
It's similar.
Packers culture. I'm a Packers. I'm a Steeler. There's a lot of broad fan base.
And I thought your Cubs are good. I just think baseball, because it's waning a bit, that is starting to lose a little bit. I went with Notre Dame second, and I have to agree with you. We just put them in different order. It has to be, 100% has to be the Dallas Cowboys.
100%.
Oh, it's not even close.
I was waffling on that.
No,
Cowboys fans. There's that. What?
Every
explain
state,
that. I don't.
Every single state, many, tons and tons of fans. I'm from the biggest city in the country, and Cowboys fans take over Giant Stadium, or whatever we call it now, MetLife Stadium. Oh yes. When we're good, not necessarily, but if we're average or bad, they overrun it to the point where you're not sure who, because there's so many Cowboys fans in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area.
I'm missing this Cowboys. I see them, but I'm thinking there's no more Cowboys fans than Packers fans, right?
Yeah, because Cowboys are just such a bigger, number one, Dallas is such a huge market. They're on TV. The Packers are on TV a lot too, of course, but we call them America's team. Whether they name themselves that or not,
I know.
It is America's team. People talk about Cowboys or ratings gold. You know this. That's why they put them on primetime so much.
All the time.
Because whether you love them or you hate them, everybody's trying to watch them. And there just are a ton of fans all over the country that are Dallas fans.
Okay, that's interesting to me. You're from New York Giants background, and you say the Cowboys even fill up that stadium.
Yep.
It's wild. There's a Cowboys culture out there. People love the Dallas Cowboys. And it's from what, the 90s? Or do we go back to Tom Landry and the whole thing? I don't think Tom Landry and they're connected to now.
No, I think it was the 90s. Absolutely. Jimmy Johnson, Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, those guys, they were...
That dynasty?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5 that they won.
Well, how come the Patriots fans aren't crawling all over the place then?
But I think part of it is what you hit on, is the fact that Dallas had a history even before that, right? They had Staubach and Landry. The Patriots were irrelevant until Belichick.
Very bad.
Right? I mean, they went to one Super Bowl and got killed in it.
And
that's
maybe
it.
it's
two.
Dallas, it's Texas, it's football, it's the whole thing. So you go Cowboys #1. Thursday happy hour at the Nate Brown Show with Rob Kegron in studios, brought to you by the Skybox. We'll go to basketball. This guy's going to have 10 different coaches. 10 different coaches. What does that mean for his legacy? We'll debate next.
Live callers, big-time interviews, and breaking sports news. This is the Nate Brown Show on Fox Sports Rapid City.
Ready to be part of something big? Meet the Rapid City Sports Commission, the powerhouse behind sports in Rapid City. The commission focuses on bringing regional and national tournaments, supporting homegrown events, and creating opportunities for our kids. But it's not just games, it's a win-win for all of us. Youth sports fuel our economy. Hosting events in Rapid City means out-of-town families shop, dine, and stay with us, which boosts sales tax revenues too. To get in on the action, visit rcsportscommission.com, where we're all about the hustle.
Hey, it's Nate Brown for Precision Mechanical, your local heating and air conditioning company, serving Rapid City, Spearfish, and the surrounding area since 2006. Precision Mechanical is here to help you stay cool this summer. If your air conditioning goes out, they have a technician on call 24/7. Also, if you need a new system, Precision is your local Lennox Premier dealer. For all of your servicing needs, maintenance, or a new system, it's Precision Mechanical. So beat the heat this summer. Just Google Precision Mechanical. Attention all basketball players, get ready to hit the court for some intense, heart-pounding action with the second annual Watiki 3-on-3 basketball tournament at the Boxelder Event Center. Gather your squad on June 1st and 2nd and step up for some thrilling competition. With both adult and youth divisions, this tournament will give you the chance to showcase your skills in a big-time showdown. Register your 3-on-3 team today at thebox.live. From gatherings to games, think inside the box.
Attention please. The new loaded cheesy ranch sticks at Pizza Ranch are loaded with flavor. Skillet crust, melty cheese, herbs, spices, and now up to 2 of your favorite toppings like pepperoni, sausage, jalapenos, and bacon. You've really got to get a load of these. Like literally, get a whole load of them. Pizza Ranch, everyone's favorite buffet.
Stop into your local Pizza Ranch with 2 Rapid City locations. Their buffet open daily 11 to 8 and order online at pizzaranch.com.
Here's your Fox Sports Rapid City forecast. Slight chance for storms tonight, otherwise partly cloudy skies. Lows level off around 44. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Slight chance of rain showers tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 68, mainly clear skies. Lows level off around 43. Tomorrow night, clear skies. That's your forecast on the Black Hills Sports Station, Fox Sports Rapid City. Currently, it's 58 degrees.
Pumps Tire Service is your low-price headquarters for all major tire brands. We buy tires manufactured direct and sell to you for less. Right now, get up to $250 in rebates on Hankook, up to $240 in rebates on Goodyear, up to $170 in rebates on Bridgestone, or up to $160 in rebates on Firestone. Pumps Tire won't be undersold. Hurry, offers end May 31st. See store for details. Visit us online at pumpstire.com. Pumps, we know tires and service. You should know Pumps.
Live from the Anytime Auto Sales Service and Details Studio. Sales, service, and recreation. This is Fox Sports Rapid City.
Welcome back in the Nate Brown Show live on Fox Sports Rapid City. Fun week this week. Great set of shows. Go to the Nate Brown Show podcast and you've got us. Search the Nate Brown Show on all the podcast platforms. You've got the program. Rob Kagron's in every Thursday. It's happy hour presented by the Skybox, our home for the best sports, brew, food. It is the Skybox. They've got it right above the firehouse. The games are on. The beer's cold. You love it. Right above the firehouse, Main Street. Hit the Skybox for take your buddies, watch some games. So this is interesting. The Pacers are playing your New York Knicks, and the Pacers had some ghost calls. They had some ghost calls, Rob. I was watching this game, and I don't complain about the officials unless I'm coaching fifth grade basketball, but I'm kidding. Come on, give me a break. So the officials, they're contesting 78 calls. Rick Carlisle and the Pacers are contesting 78 calls, and you say,
What a joke. What a joke. Are you crazy? Did they make some bad calls? Yeah. Rick, instead of worrying about 78 calls, figure out how to not give up 130 points when Brunson was out for the second quarter and Anunoby got hurt and was out for the rest of the game. If you can't figure that out, don't worry about the refs.
He said
130 points.
He said the small market's getting hosed. It's the small market bias. They're getting hosed.
Minnesota is such a big market. The Minnesota Timberwolves? Come on.
All right, good point.
The Oklahoma City Thunder?
Not bad.
Or a massive market?
Do you like these reviews? It's the 2-minute report.
No.
The NBA gives up, hey, we made this call right and this one wrong and this right and this wrong. I hate it.
I hate it too.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
I hate that.
Last week they had one where we missed the traveling call. You missed a traveling call on every play. Okay? Let's not talk about it, okay? You've made a conscious decision to let them run around without dribbling.
What is the good that it does to go, hey, we're going to let you know the calls we missed and the ones we got right in the final 2 minutes of the game? It just ticks everybody off.
Yeah. Just leave it alone. I mean, if something really egregious happens, and the NFL does this sometimes, where there's something really egregious. I mean, we're talking a handful of times a season they may do this, right? I could see in those cases, particularly if it's what could be a game-deciding play, you say something. The fact that we're talking about 5 or 6 calls or 7 calls, they're going to miss some. It's a fast-paced game.
Yes, it happens.
Yeah.
I don't know why they've done it. I think it's for the gambling piece, the integrity of it. I don't know, but
yeah.
I don't love it. I don't think you need to do it. Let's go to this final hitter. I'm going to get you out on this on a Thursday. So the Suns, by the way, just fired Frank Vogel today. So Frank Vogel comes from the Lakers. They let him go. He goes to the Suns. 1 year with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, and that's enough. So they fire him. It was his fault they got swept, I guess. So Frank Vogel's out. The Lakers fired Darvin Ham. He made the conference finals last year. They get bounced by the Nuggets again this year, and it's Darvin Ham's fault. Well, he lost the players. LeBron James is going to have 10 different coaches. Is that just the NBA or 10 different coaches? Would you believe that impacts what we think about LeBron?
Absolutely. What does it mean to have 10 coaches? It means that you have a lot of years of not winning, right? They don't replace coaches who win.
A little diva activity there as well.
He has to handpick them half the time. I mean, think about some of the guys. Didn't he get rid of, what was the guy in Cleveland? David Blatt, I think was his name.
Yes.
And he replaced him with Tyronn Lue, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
I might be mixing that up just a little bit.
It just goes, it's a carousel with LeBron.
This is what he does, right? He goes to a place and has a guy for a couple, they win maybe once, but then they lose and the guy's out. LeBron, come on.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with Darvin Ham? I mean, Darvin Ham, we go to the conference finals 1 year, and then we go to the playoffs. We get beat by the same team, the Nuggets, so maybe they didn't reach potential. But is Darvin Ham supposed to get more out of the Lakers?
No.
The current Lakers?
No, he got as much out of them as he could, right? They got 47 wins. They had to go into a play-in tournament. They lost. They lost in the first round against Denver. That's what happens. They weren't good enough. The roster's not good enough.
No, and LeBron's going to have 10 different coaches. I do believe it does impact his legacy. That's not Jordan getting rid of Collins and going with Phil.
Right.
That was it.
That's it.
LeBron's got 10. I think that marks up his legacy. Nobody's going to say, oh, LeBron's a bad player, but 10 different coaches just fits that LeBron piece of, he left a team. He went here. This coach wasn't good enough. It's always somebody else's fault.
Yep.
Kind of.
Which is why he's not the greatest.
With LeBron. Hey, we'll finish it off like that. A strong finish. Rob Kagron in tonight. It's happy hour every Thursday, brought to you by the Skybox. The Nate Brown Show podcast is going up right now. We'll see you.
Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple. One